your best. That shit crazy.
On a Saturday, welcome to the All Even Podcast. Solo show tonight, live stream tonight. I'm excited, man. I'm definitely excited in regards to what's about to happen because there's a lot to talk about. Obviously, NBA Finals have continued to plot on. But before we get into that, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. You can find the show on the Grids Network audio streams on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, if that exists anymore. Maybe it's something else. Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you find your podcasts, it's there. Check it out. Salute to the Grid. Salute to everybody there. YouTube, obviously, like, share, and subscribe. The page is growing. Mr. 10Ks in the building. So lots to cover, lots to get into. Like I said, let's talk about those NBA Finals. There is, I just want it to be over already. Some going on with Joey Chestnut. We're going to talk about that. Charles Barkley, he is retiring from television. JJ Redick has got his interview scheduled sometime this weekend. I'm going to talk about that. And is the Laker job still a desirable job? Football, a lot of deals have happened. Well, not a lot, but a big deal happened, but it's actually going to be the precursor possibly to some other deals happening. So we're going to discuss that as well. Tiger Woods, some information about Tiger Woods. I don't know, man. He's sounding a little different nowadays. I don't like it. I don't like it. A little bit of wrestling news too in regards to, it was Clash of the Castle today. Pretty interesting, decent pay-per-view. I want to talk about that a little bit. Obviously my irrelevant news of the week. And then the greatest segment on the planet, dummy of the week.
Dummy, yeah.
Before I get into all that though, the Glizzy God that everybody knows him as, right? Man has been shoveling hot dogs down his face for 20 years, right? 16-time Nathan's champion and all that. Well, he's been banned from Nathan's. Banned. He's been banned because he had a deal. He has a deal in place with this plant-based food brand, and they're a rival to Nathan's. I think it's called Impossible Foods. So he has a deal with them. Nathan's don't like it. So Nathan's banned him from the contest. Well, it ain't gonna stop the Glizzy God from continuing to do what he doing, right? So he got this matchup with Kobayashi, I believe it's in September, I believe. Or yeah, he got something going on with Kobayashi. I think it's gonna be on Netflix. So, Nathan's was like, look, we like you, man. We think that you're the God and blah, blah, blah. But if you cancel your deal, if you renege on this Impossible Foods deal, then maybe we can be able to just, reinstate you. And Joey Chestnut's kind of like, all that's good, but I need my money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have my money. Make sure my money is on time. And then I can think about it. Right? So I don't think he's going to cancel his Impossible Foods deal this year. Next year, I'm sure he will because Nathan's going to have to up the bag. You know what I mean? But I ain't going to lie to you, man. Like, look, if there's anybody that get a pass for shoveling glizzies down his throat, it's definitely Joey Chestnut. Pause.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
That's all I'm saying, man. Like, nobody even bats an eye when it comes to Joey Chestnut and the Glizzies. They don't. Anybody else? There was some wild pictures I seen of some dude. He had a hot dog and used the straw and pierced the hot dog and used the hot dog as a straw in his cup. Yo, that's violation. Anybody who does it, if you were a female, you end up doing that, she's leaving you. That's going to happen because she's going to start thinking some stuff on her head like, nah, this man can't be doing this. He thought this out prior to doing this. He's not drunk. He's not with the, nah, this is something premeditated. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. So, you know, I'm curious to see how this matchup with him and Kobayashi go. You know, they've been around for God knows how long, man. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to be able to continue to do this, but Glizzy God is what I call him. Glizzy God. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, though. Moving on. What's up with Conor? What is going on with Conor? I thought we had the fight. I thought everything was good with Chandler. All of a sudden, there's this undisclosed injury that Conor McGregor has. I'm just, come on, bro. You ain't fight since 2021. Broke your leg. People want to see it, man. And now they're saying, listen, they're still very, you know, they're expected to still have this fight. They're optimistic that this fight will happen sometime in August or September. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I think the more this gets delayed is the more Conor. I don't know, man. I don't think that he's gonna end up doing it. I mean, he may do it for the bread, but what type of Conor are we gonna see, man? Like every time I look at him, he doesn't look like he's in shape. He looks like a dude that's a little out of shape, face is a little puffy. I don't know if that's just a part of old age and he's getting bigger, but I don't know, man. He don't look the same to me. You know what I'm saying? Like just like his appearance. A couple of years back, like even 3-4 years ago, you look at Conor, his appearance is crazy different than what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man. He don't have the same swag and he don't look the same anymore. That's the biggest thing for me. But yeah, I'm hoping that the fight continues. I'm hoping that the fight does happen at some point. Shouts to Outside the Cage and those boys over there. They do a good job. Got a lot of comments early on here. See what's going on. Bryson says, I cannot wait to hear you eviscerate the Lakers. Oh, you have no idea. Chris Jones, game time. Let's get it. Student of the game, Glizzy coverage. Don't ever say you don't like hot dog. I don't eat them, but I gotta cover. It's news story. It's off sports topic. You know, I always cover something. You know what I'm saying? So I seen this hit my ticket. I'm just Glizzy God. We gotta talk about it. He's the Tom Brady of shoveling hot dogs down his face. That's all I'm saying. Hey, I don't like him. That's your department. I don't want to expose you. I don't want to expose you. But yeah. So Kevin C says no Diddy, absolutely. Student of the game, Joey Chestnut is American hero to some. Conor McGregor is washed. Yeah. Kev said he's too rich. Yeah. I mean, you know, all of those things could be true, man. All of those things could be true. But let's get into brass tacks. NBA Finals. I really don't want to cover this. I don't. And the reason why I don't want to cover is because it needs to end. Look, everybody who knows me understands that I'm a Los Angeles Lakers fan. The fact that I got to see the Celtics get banner number 18, it bothers me. But the biggest part that bothers me about this entire thing is the fact that they couldn't even sweep. Y'all were, you know, in champagne mode. And you let the Dallas Mavericks bust your ass like that? Damn near 40 points in a finals game? Now, granted, you know, everybody say, oh, well, you know, they wanted to win in Boston. Nah, you need to wrap it up because I'm hearing a lot of people. There's a lot of analysts out there. There's a lot of people that I speak to that they say, listen, why not Dallas? Why not Dallas be the first team to be able to come back from 03 and win the championship and blah, 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 and to be the greatest? Stop. It ain't happening. Them role players haven't played well all series. They now all of a sudden going to wake up and be like, all right, we know how to. That's not the way it goes. some people say that Boston or Dallas is deeper than Boston. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the fact that Porzingis is not around, I think that plays a factor, absolutely. But Luka's still Luka. As good as he is, we all know that he tends to take bad shots. He tends to argue with refs. Refs don't like Luka. He cried too much. You know what I'm saying? Kyrie showed up. Kyrie's playing well, right? So these things, those things are not going to change too much. You know, I think Kyrie is going to continue to play well. I think he's finally settled down in the series. I'm not going to see a 50-point blow, a breakout performance by Luka Doncic. I think Boston is just better defensively. They hit timely shots, even if they're not on the way they're supposed to. They're deep enough to be able to go deep into their bench and figure it out. I don't necessarily think that you can be able to do that with Dallas. Now, granted, we saw Tim Hardaway go ahead and have himself a game in game 4, right? Like we've seen, I think it was 5 for 7 from 3. So there's a lot of things that maybe Jason Kidd can find a formula to see if they can be able to figure out some ways to be able to compete and keep the game close, or maybe just, find a way to hit shots and execute a little better. I don't know. I just want it to be over. All right. I just rip the Band-Aid completely off. All right. Let them celebrate. I don't care no more, man. A lot of Lakers fans, we not even watching this. And the fact that I even got to talk about it just bothers me. It does. Whoever's a Boston Celtics fan in my life, shouts to y'all, but I don't want y'all in here, and I don't want y'all talking to me about y'all championship. Just move it along, and we can talk about the offseason. We can be able to talk about moves in the offseason, the draft, what's happening. I don't want to talk about no championship. I don't want no. It's not gonna happen. I don't want to deal with it. So yeah, that's my situation with the NBA Finals. I don't really care. I don't. And there's a lot of people that are having the same type of they got the same vibe, because Boston is kind of hard to support. They are. And it's not even the fact that it's Boston, the city. It's the fact that the players, guys like Jason Tatum, a little whiny, Jaylen Brown, all right. Derek White cut his hair off. All of a sudden, he's Superman. Like, we get it. It don't rock for me. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, I can't get jiggy with these dudes in Boston. I'm sorry. It just won't happen. I'm never gonna say that Jason Tatum is the best player in the world. You ain't gonna get those things out of me. It's not gonna happen. So if you want that type of coverage, go somewhere else. Shouts to them if they win. They have a very good team. They've put together a very, very good team. Brad Stevens deserves a lot of credit. He does. But you ain't gonna get no Boston Celtics break. Nah. Not gonna happen. I gotta stay true to who I'm supporting, to who I grew up watching, and I refuse to break down no tape, no game of no Boston Celtics. It's not going to happen. Y'all just need to wrap this up so things can happen. The offseason can begin. That's what I'm hoping for, so I can be able to really cover some basketball and talk something. I can't do this. Moving on. Charles Barkley has been with Inside the NBA and TNT since, what was it? Is it 90, 99 or something like that? 25 years he's been there. And, he recently came out and said that, this is it for him. He's not going to be working for any other network. He hopes that TNT keeps the rights. He has no idea what's going to happen, but this is going to be it for his TV career. And there's not going to be any changing of his mind. He doesn't want to be on nobody's podcast. He's not going to be answering any questions about this. This is his announcement, and he's done with it, right? So let's go ahead and just get into this, because obviously if he's not going to talk about it further, we are, right? Charles Barkley came onto the scene as a media guy and really changed the way that things were covered. He was very different, very frank, and kept it honest, and didn't really care how players thought, and really made sure that he got his point across. And I think his style really changed the way that we see coverage, really changed the way that we view sports in this bubble, right? Is that you can be able to be objective and not have a personal vendetta, right? And I think that's where you see everything happening now. Like, there's so much sports debate out there. There's so many ex-players or writers or whatever, or journalists that have podcasts or have platforms that were speaking about the game, and you can be able to criticize guys. You can praise guys. You can call guys to the carpet and say, hey, you got to play better, without it feeling sometimes like there's a personal agenda. Now, a lot of people have given Charles Barkley hell and shit over the years. But I mean, let's just keep it real. Like, if you're in the public eye, athletes are in the public eye, you have to be able to understand and take criticism. If you can't take criticism, then you should not be playing the sport that, pays you millions of dollars. So this is the thing, is that I think Charles Barkley he found a way to be himself. He found a way to love the game in a different aspect outside of playing. And I think Charles Barkley spawned a lot of guys that you see in the media now. They may not come out and say it, but I think Charles Barkley inspired a lot of people to do what they're doing right now. I think if it wasn't for Charles, I don't think that you see Shaq on Inside the NBA. I don't think that you have this dynamic that they've created over there, where people love Inside the NBA sometimes more than they actually love the games that they're watching. There's a lot of times where the games are not that exciting, but these guys make it so exciting. And the fact that, Barkley's not going to be a part of it anymore, it's very bittersweet. But Shaq will still be there, Ernie, Kenny, but who knows how long they'll be there? Who knows what's going on in regards to when everything is finalized and the ink is dry, right? So the fact that Charles Barkley is taking, his swan song and doing his farewell tour, says a lot, man. It says a lot, and I think he needs his flowers. I think, for this year, let's celebrate Charles Barkley for the legend that he is, for the honest, opinionated character that he's always been, for somebody who's always kept it a buck, no matter how people view it or not. I kind of look at myself in that same type of realm, right? Where I'm gonna give you some harsh criticism, but that's just who I am. This is not for show. This is not for the podcast. Like, if people who know me understand that this is me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing else that comes from this. Like, this is not for show. This is just who I am. I am this animated in real life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to change for nobody. So if anybody wants to give me a bag at some point, this is what you're getting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be cookie cutter. You're not going to make me do something that I don't want to do now. This is why I have my own platform. This is why I'm going to continue to grow my own platform, because I don't want to do that song and dance. I'm not chucking a jobbing. So the fact that Charles stood on his square, made sure that he wasn't going to be that guy to do that. Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, it's just it's a beautiful thing in regards to how they're going to go forward and see who actually replaces Charles and how they go into space and how the chemistry is going to be. It's going to be a lot, man. It's going to be a change. Bittersweet, but like I said, I think when we hear that NBA on NBC theme, we're gonna forget. We're gonna forget everything. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna literally forget everything, man, because that theme was fire. I don't care what nobody want to tell me. That was the hardest theme in sports. When you heard that NBA Finals theme, and you had Bob Costas, he was doing the intro. It was fire. It was fire. TNT ain't never had no hot shit like that. ESPN don't do that, but NBC had it, and they need to bring that back. So, if this is where they're going, hey, Give me that. Give me that. So it's been a great 25 years for Chuck. No regrets for him. He did it his way, and that's the way that you want to go out. So salute to him, man. And I'm really, really proud of Chuck. And we'll see what happens. Moving on. JJ Redick, all of this news with the Lakers and Dan Hurley, his interview talking about, there was a number. I don't know what the number is, but there was a number for me to leave UConn. And my wife, she cried, and nobody cares no more. Like, it was a good story for 4 days. Let's just need to stop. So I'm not going to talk about it. I don't care to talk about it. I talked about it enough. But what I will talk about is the fact that JJ Redick officially is going to get his formal interview sometime this weekend. It could be happening right now, could be happening tomorrow. We don't know. But what I will say is that JJ has been patiently waiting his chance. He spoke to Rob Pelinka. They cleared the air in regards to Rob telling, hey, listen, we had to go pursue Dan Hurley. This is why things were kind of delayed. So, hopefully you're not mad. And I'm sure JJ was like, look, man, I understand. This is Dan Hurley. Go ahead and talk to him. Like, you know what I mean? I would probably hire him over me too, right? So I don't think that should be a slight to anybody. I've heard, people talk about, well, should he be slighted because, he wasn't the first? Who cares? If you go get a job and they say, hey, listen, you're hired, and then you end up finding that Bill from wherever didn't get the job, or he pulled out of the job and you got the job, who gives a fuck? Who cares how you got the job? If you want it, go get the job and do your business. Like, it doesn't matter about being like, people need to stop with that, right? Like, there's always going to be somebody that's maybe more qualified than you or better than you, or the company views them to be better than you. It doesn't matter. But once you get your opportunity, you need to kick the door down and do what you need to do. Who cares if he was first choice? It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the biggest issue. Listen, I watch what's that show called on Netflix? Love is Blind, right? And they be going in that damn pod there, and somebody be like, listen, I love somebody else, and I'm gonna go that way, right? So what they do, they pick themselves up and they go get their second choice, and the second choice ends up being better than the first choice. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever happens, it happens for a reason. So the fact that JJ now has his shot, it's his job to lose. It's always been his job to lose from day one. I don't care what Woj tells me. I don't care what people want to say. He's been the target from day one. And I think that he's going to knock it out of the park. I think that he's going to show his ability to be able to put a staff together, put his X and O's together, put his plan together, and show Rob, show Jeannie, show the Rambi, whoever the hell is there, and go about that way. You know what? Matter of fact, hold on. The fact that I'm talking about Lakers, let's just do it the right way. Let's do it the right way. So the fact that JJ is ready to roll. I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. I like the fact that he's potentially going to be the next Laker coach. So here's a question that I've seen. Is the Lakers' job or the Lakers still a desirable destination? Got to take a pause, because I would say yes. See, the thing is, brands get revamped all the time. Brands retool and regroup and figure out ways to stay relevant as the decades and time goes by. Is it the same brand that it was back in the 80s? No. Is it the same brand that it was back in the 90s? No. 2000s? No. But guess what's changed? The world has changed. People are not so locked into certain things anymore. Changing of the guard happens. Business models change. Ownership changes. Different styles change. So the fact that for people to say the Lakers are still, are they not a desirable job? I would say they still are, but it all depends on winning. If the Yankees don't win, and they haven't won in quite some time in regards to a World Series, right? Is the Yankees brand still the same that it was back in the late 90s or early 2000s? No. But they have to now adapt. And if they get back to that winning formula that they had, the brand will rise again. Dallas Cowboys is one of the biggest brands in football in the world. Are they the same brand that they were back in the mid-90s when they were doing their damage? No. Why? Because they haven't won consistently. So once you win, it changes everything. And all it takes is one person. All it takes is one idea. All it takes is one trade, one group of guys to be able to come together and win consistently to make that switch happen. Golden State Warriors. Nobody cared about the Golden State Warriors 10 years ago or 15 years ago. They care about them now, don't they? Because winning created a new way of looking at this franchise. As they go along, they're going to have to maintain that or the brand will sink. It's just the way it is. We got a comment here from the real Darrell, excuse me. Lakers front office is dysfunctional. They only care about making money off LeBron. Golden State is going through the same phase right now. Yeah, I would say that they're definitely going through a transitional stage. You know what I'm saying? In regards to Golden State, it's tough when you are so successful and you've set a bar so high. That's gonna come down at some point. You can't maintain that level forever. So you have to do your best to be able to revamp and retool. So yes, Gary Vitti, former Lakers trainer, was with the Lakers organization for damn near 30 years, said that he finds it hard to support the Lakers nowadays. He finds it hard to be able to support this team and how they're running things. And we've heard that Linda Rambis is going to be in the talks to, well, if she doesn't like the JJ situation, she can't sign her. Who gave Linda all of this damn power? Nobody cares. If she ain't Jeannie or Rob, who cares about what Linda Rambis has to say? If you're the best friend of the owner, you ain't got no say. You just need to chill the fuck out. So, yeah, there is some dysfunction here. Absolutely. I will never disagree with that. And yeah, there's a lot of Lakers legends that don't feel the same way about the franchise. That also is true. But all of that shit doesn't mean anything if you win. They need to win. And I believe that JJ Redick is the guy to be able to spearhead this team back to winning. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to, crack the seal and be able to compete for these next 2 years. I don't know if LeBron's coming back. We don't know what the roster is going to be. We don't know what's going to happen in the draft. But what I can tell you is that JJ has the moxie and the basketball IQ and that grindability to be able to figure it out. We've seen so many coaches get plucked from obscurity and be successful. Doc Rivers never coached before. He coached Vinny Del Negro, Steve Kerr, Jason Kidd. Like, there's so many coaches that you can be able to pluck from and say, man, they didn't have any real experience like that, but they figured it out. If you're a great mind and you have great work ethic, you can possibly be a great head coach. Now, granted, you need the players. Absolutely. I've never seen a coach be successful without the dogs, without the horses, right? You need to make sure that you have those great athletes that can be able to put your plan into place, execute that plan, and be able to have role players that know their roles and hit timely shots. That's the game. So it's yet to be seen, but out of everybody that they were talking to, Dan Hurley, never been in the NBA before. I don't give a damn what he does in college. Who cares? This is not college. There's only been 4 coaches in college that have had NBA success. Quinn Snyder, Billy Donovan, Brad Stevens, and Larry Brown. That's the list. So I don't give a damn what Dan Hurley. Yeah, go back. Fine. You want to say that it wasn't a bargaining chip? Sure, Dan. Say what you want to say. People are going to have their opinions. You'll have yours. And we'll never know the truth because that's just the way it is. But I think JJ Redick can be able to do the job. This is not a guy that has not been tapped into the NBA. He's a lead announcer for the NBA Finals. He has his own podcast where he breaks the game down. Mind the Game with LeBron James. You hear this guy speak. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. Also, too, you got to remember, the Lakers coaches that have had success, I'm talking about real success, not guys that are like 15 games over 500, real success. And if we're just going to use 2 coaches, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, what is so similar about those guys? They're just characters. Phil Jackson was a character. He was big enough to handle the Los Angeles stage. Pat Riley, the same thing. He was able to mold himself into that character. Slick back hair, nice suits on the sideline, aggressive, aggressive, made sure that he kept his team locked in. Character. You can be able to appeal to that. I think the JJ is the same thing. Yeah, it plays. Hey, well, I didn't know if rumored. Now, I like to put this in quotations. Rumored to not want to play for him because they don't know if he can be able to hold LeBron account. Shut up. What does that matter? What if you're on the team and he can be able to make sure that you're prepared, you're productive, you're developing? What do you care about what LeBron does? LeBron is LeBron. You think that Phil Jackson didn't give Jordan special treatment? You don't think that David Robinson and Tim Duncan got special treatment at times? It happens. So what you worried about them for? Worry about yourself. We all know that if JJ gets the job, he's not going to have a podcast no more. He got no time for that shit. He got to be worrying about answering to the Los Angeles media. He has to worry about game tape. He has to break that down. He got to worry about practice. He got to worry about executing and putting certain plays into certain defensive schemes, or speaking to his coaches, understanding what's going on, looking at the draft, looking at trades, looking at how they can be able to improve the team, speaking to Rob Pelinka, speaking to Jeannie. Like, there's going to be so much stuff for him to do. He ain't going to have no time for no podcast. So for anybody to even use that as a talking point,
Dummy, yeah.
like, you want me?
Dummy, yeah.
Come on now. Like, there's no reason for you to even use that because it's null and void if he takes the job. So stop. That don't make sense. It really does not make sense. Okay, it says the ownership and front office was on the same page. Jerry Buss and Jerry West knew how to make moves to help the Lakers stay on top. When those guys get old, Lakers crumble. Listen, 100%. You got to remember that in every sport, in all sports, when your front office is in sync and everything is running smoothly up there, there's a trickle-down effect. Give me a front office that's well run, and you'll see a team that is consistently winning, whether they're winning championships or consistently in contendership. That's what you're going to see, right? So 100%. I mean, there's not a lot of teams out there that had that level of stability for X amount of time. Things change. I agree that there's a lot of things that need to happen for them to be able to get back to a point where people look at them a different way. But I'm also saying that despite all of that, despite how people feel about Rob, despite how people feel about this, if they win, it don't matter. If they win, no Laker fan is going to be out there, well, won 65 games, but we still need to get Genie out of here. Like, we winning. We ain't got no time to be worrying about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think JJ is going to knock it out of the park. I think he's going to do well in his interview. And I honestly believe that once the interview is completed, we will hear about it. We probably won't hear about how great it went or the finite details of it, obviously. But very shortly after that, there's going to be an offer. And there comes the other part of this, is that people have been telling JJ Redick that, are they sure he wants the job? Are you sure you want to take that responsibility on? Are you sure you want this particular job? Anybody that's worth anything, that believes in themselves, that understands that they too are box office, won't run from this position. There's certain people that are built for prime time, bright lights, and there's certain people that are built for Boise, Idaho. It's just the way it is. Some people can play with the big lights on them and it doesn't faze them. While some guys look around at the lights and they start to panic. So if JJ feels that he's the right man for the job and this is the job that he wants and he will take that job, then he's ready for the challenge because he understands what comes with that. He's played in Los Angeles before. Not saying he with the Lakers, he played with the guys in the basement. But Los Angeles, there is always going to be eyes on you. And you're always going to get more attention than anywhere else. That's just the way it is. He understands the landscape. He understands the landscape. So we'll see that. Let's see. He says, I believe when the Celtics win Monday, this will be... Yeah, I mean, Brandon, you're 100% right. I think that's something that can definitely happen. In fact, that you see Boston win their championship and the light goes on and says, all right, we got to get our shit together because we've been fucking around for the last few years, changing up the team, making Russell Westbrook horrible historic trades and bobbling this shit while Boston has been assembling a great roster over the last few years. So, yeah, 100%. Carving it up with Bryson. Bryson says it's already been reported that they concluded the interview today. Nothing more that's gotten out beyond that. Okay, so the fact that the interview is completed, I'm sure we're gonna get some news that trickled out. I've been looking at it all day. I haven't seen anything come out, Bryson. So if there's any updates, please feel free to put that in there. But like I said, man, this is gonna be one of the things that I don't necessarily believe that if he didn't want the job, he would interview for the job. There's been plenty of guys that have, been rumored to have a scheduled interview and they withdraw their name. He's not withdrawing his name for a reason. He wants the job. He believes that he can be able to do the job. He's seen this roster. He understands probably what's needed to change to get them over the hump, to be able to expand certain things, get Anthony Davis comfortable in certain spots, get LeBron James comfortable in spots, utilize other guys. There's nothing wrong with that. When Dallas loses the finals, what will the criticism be for Kyrie and Luka? Great question. I don't think that the criticism should be huge for Kyrie. Kyrie, Boston's defense is really good, man. Like we gotta understand that Drew Holiday ain't no slouch. Derek White ain't no slouch. Pritchard ain't no slouch. Like these guys can be able to defend their long. They can be able to be pests. Like you gotta fight for what you want. I think the person that really deserves the criticism is Luka. Yeah, I do. If you're gonna be labeled that guy, Mr. Triple W, he's gonna be the one to break LeBron's scoring record. Yeah. but then you end up crying and not getting back on defense. You whining to the refs, giving up open layups on the other side. Those things, if you're the superstar that people want you to be, the criticism needs to be as big as the praise. But we only see it with LeBron. We don't see it with KD. We don't see it with other guys. We only see it with one guy. But if you're going to put this person on a certain pedestal, then they deserve to be criticized that way as well. You know, we seen Luka apologize to the Mavs for his behavior and all that. But yeah, the criticism needs to be much, much louder and much higher for Luka than Kyrie for me. Because Kyrie, at this point of his career, he's a second banana. Nothing, there's no disrespect in regards to that term. It's just the fact that this Luka's team. So if Luka doesn't play well, or there's certain things that he's doing that's not helping the team win, then he deserves a lot of criticism for that. He's probably one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. And this is the guy that you're propping up as one of the best players in your league. He plays no defense. He doesn't even try to play defense. Takes bad step back shots. But that's the poster boy for your league. Okay. So yeah, I agree. I think that there needs to be some heat that comes his way that maybe shames him into getting his ass in shape, you know, putting on some muscle, moving your feet, because you can be able to dance and do all these offensive moves and got Gobert looking crazy, you know, laughing and talking shit in his face. But when it comes to moving your feet defensively, you can't do that. Defense is about will, not always skill. I played basketball. I was a great defender. Why? Because it was about thinking the game. It was about using the angles. It was about knowing who you're going against, studying your opponents, understanding how they like to use their offhands or dominant hand. If they like to pat the ball with their offhand, if they pat the ball, then maybe you can jump that side when they switch it. Certain little things you need to understand in regards to defense. You ever heard when Dennis Rodman was talking about rebounding, he was doing all this shit when the ball came off the rim? Like, he's studying things and understanding how things work, because that's how you get great at things. Luka don't care. So if he doesn't care, then the national media shouldn't care about giving him the business in regards to criticism. It's just the way I see it. If they're going to praise you, make sure that the criticism is just as loud. Moving on. Before I get out of my Lakers topic, obviously, I'd like to say rest in peace to Jerry West. Jerry West, to me, and I said this on my TikTok video, he's probably the most influential basketball player I've ever seen. When you talk about a guy that had success at West Virginia, gets drafted to the Lakers, you know, in his second year in the league, the man is averaging 30 points. Ends up retiring after the 74 season, been to 9 finals. He's the only guy to win a finals MVP on a losing team. 1 championship, no MVPs, but just a great player, right? Respected the game, played hard, just an intimidating guy. Had the jump shot. Nobody was really shooting like that when Jerry West got in the game. They was doing set shots and shooting underneath, and he came in with a real ratchet. He was different, man. He was just a different guy. And the fact that the NBA graced him with the logo that he's never really talked about, he's never officially confirmed, because the NBA has never officially confirmed it, shows a lot. Shows exactly what he meant to the game and what he meant to so many people in the city of Los Angeles. I don't think that the Lakers, 80s aside, the Lakers in the 70s, the 60s, and those teams were always contending. The only reason why Jerry West doesn't have 5 or 6 championships is because of the damn Boston Celtics. Let's keep it 100. That's the only reason. Man's been, I think he was in like 8 game 7s, whatever it was. His finals record looks crazy, but when you realize who he was going against, you're like, all right, ain't nothing you can do. Jerry West, you look at his finals numbers, the man was putting up crazy numbers. So just think about this. Think about the timeline of this man's career. Retires from the Lakers, becomes the head coach for 3 seasons, wins 50 games, wins 45 games the next year. I think he wins like 43 games the year after. They were in the playoffs. He was #1 in the West his first year as coach. He went from being a great player to a pretty fucking good coach right out the gate. So we're talking about right out playing. Like, come on now. This is not something new that guys jump from one situation to the next. If you have that IQ, if you understand how the game works, you can succeed. Bill Russell was a hell of a coach. What are you talking about? Right? So he ends up doing that, steps down. Paul Westhead gets the job, moves into a front office role with the Lakers. Pat Riley gets the job, and now him and Pat Riley are putting this thing together. And they create the dynasty. We go ahead and fast forward into the 90s now. He has to retool. Who can I get to be able to help me? I'm going to draft Nick Van Exel. I'm going to draft Eddie Jones. I'm going to draft all of these dudes. I'm going to put this team together. Sign Shaquille O'Neal away from the Orlando Magic in a move that shocked the NBA. Told everybody, yo, you know that 16-year-old kid that we was working out? Kid's going to be a superstar. Told Shaq, hey, listen, I'm going to partner you up with this young kid, and you guys are going to win multiple championships. He saw the game. He saw things differently. He was a forward thinker, a progressive mind. Puts that dynasty together. Ends up having some problems. Leaves, goes to Memphis. Spearheads and changes the way they view their franchise. Get them on the right track. Then he leaves again. Goes to Golden State. See that what happened in Golden State. So anything that Jerry West touched ended up just being fruitful and turning out to be a great thing. And you know, the fact that he was estranged from the organization, you know, is what it is. But I just want to salute to Jerry West, because without Jerry West, I don't know where the Lakers would be. I really don't know where the Lakers organization would be without a Jerry West. I don't know where the Golden State Warriors organization would be without a Jerry West. I don't know where the Clippers would be right now. He spearheaded a little bit of the resurgence in Clipperland. If it wasn't for Jerry West, I don't think that Kawhi signs there. I don't think they get Paul George. So there's a lot of things influentially that he did to just change the game, and he was always such a joy to be around. This guy, you know, spoke highly of the new players, the new generation, was tapped in. LeBron James loved him. He had conversations. You know, it was just a great person, man. Just a great mind, great knowledge of the game, great player, and probably never see another Jerry West again. Really, really and truly. I think that he's one of one. And if that's going to be his legacy and nobody else comes and touches it, then let it be so. You know what I mean? And, you know, I am still sad about it. I miss him dearly. And, you know, salute to the logo. Salute to Mr. Clutch. Moving on. I think that might be it for my basketball topics. Let me see what the comments look like. We have Cowboys Can fan late night live stream. Yes, sir. Bryson. Without Mr. West, 3 dynasties don't exist. Showtime, Shaq and Kobe, Warriors. That would be like if Roger Staubach created it. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty accurate there. Kevin C says, "Stop it, brother. JJ is not going to be successful. The Lakers lineup is not a winner." Coming from a Knicks fan, I'd take nothing that you say seriously, honestly. I wonder how his finals record would be viewed today in ring culture. We crushed LeBron for going 4-6, much less 1-8. Salute to Jerry West. Yeah, I mean, look, if this was in the ring culture, like you said, and social media, they'd kill Jerry West. They would. But when you're going against a powerhouse, like, people don't realize that the Lakers just kept getting back to the finals and kept bucking into the same team. That's not easy when you have to deal with that steamboat or that train that you can't stop. Like, if you look at his numbers, he never did anything that stopped the team from winning. It just Celtics were just better. That's all it is. And the one championship that they won, they beat they beat the Knicks. So it's, it is what it is. Sometimes there's just teams that are just better than you. That's all. Moving on to my irrelevant.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the? They stink.
Let me see what I got for irrelevant news of the week this week. Let's see. I don't know if I got anything crazy. We're going to check it out. Let's see. Oh, it's a good story. Former New England Patriots coach Bill Belichick, 72, reportedly dating 24-year-old Jordan Hudson. Look, Bill Belichick continues to be the legend. He keeps reinventing himself. When he was with the Cleveland Browns, they weren't good. Went to the Patriots, won 6 championships. The man is now free of charge, not married, divorced, not with the Patriots anymore, divorced from them, and now he's out there slinging it. You can't hate on my man Bill Belichick. Hey, do what you want to do out there and do it with as many people as possible. That's all it is. You in the twilight of your life, you do what the hell you want to do. Shouts to Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? She knows what she's doing. Hey, the world knows what she's doing. But you think Bill cares? Bill don't give a damn. He's like, yeah, we all know what you're doing, but just keep doing what you're doing. Just turn around again. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Moving on. Wife charged in husband's death after fight over Nintendo Switch. I've had friends that they get so sensitive when it comes to getting their ass whooped in a game. They don't talk to you. They want to slam the controller down. They want to change rules the next time you come to play. Like, there's a lot of things that I've seen happen, but you take it another step further and you go ahead and off your husband because of the Switch. Like, what type of game is that's extreme? Yo, let me, is there a story with this? Michigan woman following a fight in a Wendy's parking lot over her decision to order a Nintendo Switch and not a PlayStation 5. Wow. So that was the beef. Is like, I didn't want this. I wanted a PS5. Well, I got you a Switch. Well, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna get the Switch, all right. Like, what are we doing? What type of? I don't know what's going on in this world, man. But we need to go into another dimension or something. Typo found on Chiefs Super Bowl ring. This is bad. Whoever did this, they put 7 seed instead of what were they? 6 seed? Yeah, like, it's a typo. I mean, now what are they gonna do? You're gonna have to give back those rings or make another one? Like, just don't show nobody in the inside of it. That's it. And whoever did this, shame on them. Like, don't embarrass your team like this. Don't do that. It's a bad typo. It's bad, but it happens. All right. People are not perfect. But yeah, that's a bad one. That's a bad one. I would ask for another one. I would definitely ask for another one because you ain't gonna have me out here looking like a sucker like this shit is off eBay. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, well, why your shit look crazy? Nah. You know, real jewelers don't make mistakes like this. They would clown people like that. They don't, no. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see what's going on here. Sure, they were athletes, but they were playing against inferior talent. Who is this dude talking about? Jerry West was playing against insurance salesmen. Dude, just stop. Just stop. Like, just because you were born in a time where Michael Jordan existed, who did Michael Jordan play against? Was there anybody in Jordan's era that was even close to him? So what are you talking about? Stop while you're behind, not ahead while you're behind. Just stop. Patrick says you can't tell the story of basketball without the 60s legend. Absolutely. Like that's just the game. Let's see what other stories we got here. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, nah, this one is crazy. DoorDash driver caught on ring camera hurling racial slurs at black customer. Here's your... Yo, we still doing that? Like, what? Come on now. Like, your job is to just deliver the food. What do you care who you deliver it to? If you do care, maybe you should not be doing DoorDash. Maybe you should be in a different situation because obviously you don't know who you're always going to be delivering food to. But the fact that you go ahead and be on somebody's ring cam and you say that, you lucky that somebody wasn't home that's not her that was going to tune your ass up. Let that be somebody that I know. Let that be somebody that nah, you wouldn't pop that stuff off in a certain area. You just wouldn't. You know, people are smart. They're not, you know, most races are very, very intelligent. Like, they're not just gonna mouth off and talk shit in a certain situation where they know that they don't have the advantage. Just doesn't work that way. They'll go home and start calling you names. You know what I mean? Like, but they're not going to do it in a place where they know they're going to get beat the hell up. It's not what happens. It's not what happens. So that's crazy. But even the craziest part to me is DoorDash ain't gonna do nothing. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, we're gonna suspend his account for 30 days. We're gonna suspend his account for 30. You can't even get somebody on the phone, much less them do anything. Like, so we gotta stop. We need to stop because ain't nothing gonna happen. That is my irrelevant news.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch the? I mean, yeah, they stink. Moving
on. Trevor Lawrence, aka BoJack Horseman, gets big deal, $275 million, $200 million guaranteed. I believe he's making $55 million a year, tied with Joe Burrow as the highest paid quarterback in the league in regards to annual salary. I don't know how I feel about this. I listen, I do believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars love him and they want to keep him and they feel that he's their quarterback of the future. You pay guys for what you believe they're going to be, not for what they are, right? So that's where I can see it, but still bothers me that this is a guy that's underachieved due to poor play at times, injuries, whatever the case may be. And that type of money for him is just like, really? Is that what we're doing? I want to, you know, throw some stats out there for you. I'm going to give you 3 quarterbacks. So Trevor Lawrence, well, let's see. Let's see who's what. So we have one quarterback whose passer rating is 84.6, 44 touchdowns, 28 interceptions, completion percentage of 63.5, yards per attempt 6.5, so 6.6. We We have the other guy that's 86.9, 46 touchdowns, 33 interceptions, 66% completion percentage, 6.8 yards per attempt. The other guy is 84.2, 48 touchdowns, 31 interceptions, 62.8 completion percentage with a 6.6 yards per attempt. Which one is Trevor Lawrence? Do we know? The first one that I spit off is Trevor Lawrence. 84.6% completion passer rating, 44 touchdowns, 28 interceptions, 63.5 completion percentage with a 6.6 yards per attempt. 5 years, $275 million. The next guy that I said was Mac Jones. 86.9, 46 touchdowns, 33 interceptions, 66% completion percentage. Like, the next guy that I said was Daniel Jones, 48 touchdowns, 31 interceptions. So when you look at these particular numbers, these guys are very similar, and you can definitely tell me that Trevor Lawrence is better than Mac Jones, right? Trevor Lawrence is better than Daniel Jones. Okay, but the numbers don't scream that. So when you see a particular figure that cracks the ceiling like this one does, this one doesn't feel as good as when Joe Burrow got his money, or when somebody like this one is just like, we're gonna see. I mean, I guess Jacksonville, okay, this is their guy, but not too keen on that one. But this has a domino effect. And the domino effect is Dak Prescott with the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas has come out and said that he is a priority, that they want to sign him. They want to sign him before CD. They want to sign him before Micah. Well, you let Trevor Lawrence, who doesn't have the numbers that you have, get signed before Dak. Dallas is in a big problem. If they go ahead and sign, this man may end up getting $300+ million. Like, and you got yourself to blame. If you don't love him, move on from him. But stop putting out all of these press releases about, yeah, we love Dak and he's our quarterback and we're not gonna go any further than he could. Like, if you want to sign a dude, give him the number that makes sense to him and move the fuck on. I'm tired of it. I'm not a Dak fan. I'm not a Dak supporter. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys can win with Dak consistently. I don't. But if they're going to sign him, just sign him already. Sign him already. And don't let this drag out till 2 or 3 or 4 other quarterbacks get paid. And now you're the last one on the line. And guess what happens when you're the last one on the line? You have to pay the money that everybody else didn't get before you. That's just the way it is. It's not about, well, your contract gets this. Your contract gets this. It's all about, well, that guy got that, so now I have to get $1 more or $5 million more than that. That's the way it works in the NFL. So if you're slow to the gun, you need to get a little faster. Because how Dallas is looking and how they're working right now, it don't look good and it just don't make sense to me. This is probably why they have struggled over the past 25, 26 years getting where they need to get because of situations like this. I'm not a fan of a guy like that. But if he's going to be your guy, if you feel that he's your guy and you don't want him to test free agency, you don't want to move on from him, then give him a damn contract and move on. Seriously. Enough. Moving on. Jordan Love is rumored to start to, they're going to start to negotiate with Jordan Love in Green Bay as well. Yeah, I mean, look, the kid is good. I think the kid had a great season. Look, he destroyed my Dallas Cowboys in playoffs, so why not? I give him money right just off that game alone. All right, you go into Dallas and beat the hell out of them. Yeah, what you want? 250? Give it to him. Like, he's a good player. He's somebody that you can be able to grow with. He speaks well. He's knowledgeable. He's fast. He can be able to get out of the pocket. Has a good arm. So you know, if that's your guy, go ahead and sign up your guy. And how lucky is a Green Bay franchise, right? That you can be able to go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and now possibly Jordan Love, who can be that good of a guy. And you gotta you have to respect and appreciate their player development over there in regards to the quarterback position. I'm not saying that every quarterback succeeds over there, but you have to have some talent to understand and know what you're doing, because the guys that are there, they are that succeed, they are really good. And you have to give respect to the coaching staff or whoever's in place, right? So yeah, I believe that he should be next up, or one of the guys that in, you hear Tua, he's working out some stuff with the Miami Dolphins. I don't know what his contract is going to look like. I don't think that Tua is very good. But it's about the next man up. It's not about what I think. It's not about what happens in regards to his production, how the season goes. It's all about how the team views him and the next man up. And that's why I don't really like the way the NFL does things. I think that they should have a different scale in regards to how they pay their players. Because the quarterback contracts are going to continue to rise. And I just don't feel that there's a lot of guys out here that are worth that type of money, and it puts their franchises in bad spots. I do. That's just my opinion. What else do we have here? Oh, I mean, look. Tiger Woods. I talked about Tiger Woods, right? Tiger Woods, greatest golfer that's ever lived. I don't care what nobody wants to tell me. He's the best, right? Tiger Woods came out and said that, after missing the cut for the U.S. Open, he didn't make the cut. He said that it may or may not be his last U.S. Open. Normally, Tiger Woods is very adamant on playing, how he feels. Oh, if I feel good, I'm gonna play. If I feel good, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna make sure that I adjust my swing, get with my caddy, and get with my trainers and see what's going on and all that stuff. And you're not really hearing that same vigor with Tiger Woods. And look, rightfully so. Dude's getting old. Like, he got a lot. There's not much on the hood anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? The hair is gone. You know what I mean? There's a sunroof up there. Like, Tiger Woods, he's not the same, right? He's not the same guy that he was. And that's okay, because he's older. His swing is not the same. His body's not the same. Guys are younger in the tournaments now. They're faster. They're more equipped. They know how to be able to handle the game going forward. And, it might be time for him to walk away. I would hate to see it, because he's still a draw. He's still somebody that if he's on the tee, I got to watch. Because it's Tiger Woods, right? So, I don't want him to retire, but if he's starting to feel like this is too much work for him, then why not, hang it up and enjoy, watching your son possibly come up and be that next superstar, right? That you can be able to live vicariously through your children and find that love of the game again and give your body a rest, man. I think, the fact that he has to go through so much just to get his body prepared, just to play a tournament nowadays, man, it's a lot. It's really a lot. Kev C, a little late to the party, says, do you think Trevor Lawrence deserved that extension? No, I don't. I definitely don't. Not with the numbers that I gave you. I think he has the potential to be good. I think that will he? I don't know. He's been very, very average in the NFL since being drafted. So I'm not too impressed with it, honestly. Patrick says Jordan Love cares about team success. He's got a bright future and his ceiling is very high. Absolutely. I think the kid has a lot of potential to be able to be the next great Green Bay Packers quarterback. I do. Moving on to some wrestling. I don't give a damn who don't want to watch wrestling or who doesn't. I watch it. Clash of the Castle was today. It was fire. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles had a great match. I quit match. Loved it. Loved the story. Loved the story that they told. Cody Rhodes ends up winning, and then the Bloodline comes out, and then Randy Orton comes out, and KO comes out, and then we saw some interesting things happen after that, right? Randy is with Cody, and they're walking, up the ramp or whatever it is, and Randy takes a nice peek at the championship, and he has that maniacal Randy Orton look again, and Cody doesn't see it coming. If that's the next feud, this is what Cody needs to be able to solidify and really put that title run, put a stamp on it. Because since he's won the title at WrestleMania, run hasn't been that great. There has not been a lot of guys to be able to go against. Like, I think AJ has been a great opponent, but if Randy can get back to that bad Randy, man, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very good. I liked obviously the women's title match, with Bayley and Piper Niven. I liked the tag team match with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. They lost to the girls from Scotland. That was dope. But the match of the night was Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre. What a match that was. Both guys tore the house down. It was great. Great story. Great ending. CM Punk comes out, and the ref is knocked out. CM Punk slides into the ring and does the 1-2 count, picks up the hand, and chucks the deuces to Drew McIntyre. He's just like, you do this to me again. This story continues to build. I think it's going to be the best story of the year. It's going to head through the summer. SummerSlam is going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm excited. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a Punk fan. Love Drew. Love Damian Priest. I love Gunther. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Love it. So I would give Clash of the Castle a B. It was a very decent pay-per-view. I like the matches. It was a quick pay-per-view too. It wasn't long, 4 hours. It was like 2.5, 250 maybe. That's a good little marginal pay-per-view to get us through the next one, right? So I can't wait till Monday what happens, because I know Punk and Drew are gonna tear the house down on Monday night. Promo is gonna be crazy. And the fact that Punk hasn't had a match since the Rumble and he's been out has kind of made the story better, right? Who knows if he would have been wrestling had the story been as good. But the fact that he's been out and they've told this compelling story for all of these months, and it keeps getting better. There's more layers that ends up going on top of that. It keeps getting better. The social media jabs that they take at each other, the constant shit talking that they have on every week's program. Like, this is what you want to see. This is storytelling. And this is why WWE is always going to be better than AEW, because people who watch AEW, we like to wrestle. No, it's not about that. It's not about that all the time. It's about the story, how you get to the match. Sometimes the story is better than the match, but we don't care. We don't give a shit. We don't care. So, I want to see how that continues to evolve. This is a wrap-up period now, because it's time for my favorite segment. The greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and nobody's here tonight, so it falls on me. Who is my Dummy of the Week? I would say, and I'm going to tell a story here, is that I've been a Laker fan my entire life. So I was 3 years old, and I have never been disgusted with my Lakers in regards to this level. But winning cures all, and you forget things and you tend to move on. But I won't forget this. I will not. And the drum roll, please. There's nobody here to give me the drum roll, but I'll put it in. Drum roll, please. The winner for Dummy of the Week, my Los Angeles Lakers. Get the
Dummy, yeah.
So for the Dan Hurley thing, they go ahead and go all out. You don't give them the big offer, the Godfather offer that they said was coming. 6 years, 70 million is not that much money, especially in California with those taxes. Had you give the man 95, 100, 105 over 8, I'm sure Dan Hurley would have probably been the coach. If probably not, but the fact that if you would have gave him that type of offer, I don't think that anybody's calling the Lakers cheap. That's not even the reason why they're my dummy this week. My dummy, and the reason why I'm giving them the dummy, has to go back to Jerry West. Jerry West, his whole life, his whole professional life was built around being a Laker. Played for this franchise, won a championship with this franchise, grew with this franchise, built a dynasty with this franchise, built another dynasty with this franchise, and believed in the change and believed in the purple and gold so much. He was the Lakers. Still is in so many different aspects. But what I don't like is the fact that Jeannie Buss has continued to have this bullshit feud, this resentful feud, when this should have got squashed years ago. Jerry West's issues with the Lakers started in the 2000s, or before that, with Phil Jackson and Jeannie Buss. Phil Jackson is one of those people that didn't really like GMs and presidents meddling. And he decided that I think I may need to go because I'm not going to win this power struggle with Phil because they're winning. They're successful. They're doing their thing. So he left. Stayed away from the franchise for so long. Never got welcomed back. It was just this unspoken tension when the Lakers ever got brought up. You had somebody ask Jeannie Buss a few years ago who her most impactful Lakers were. She had Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. She put LeBron James on that list over Jerry West. I love LeBron James. Not as much as Kobe, not as much as Magic, but I love the guy. There's no way in fucking hell you should ever put anybody like LeBron James, as great as he is, over Jerry West, who was a Laker lifer. And for me, that just was like the needling. That was just unnecessary. Why the issues continue to happen the way it did, I don't know. Jerry West's son was still in the organization when he left. There's rumors that the Lakers cut off his season tickets or his access or whatever it was. Petty shit, especially when Rob Pelinka came around. There's a reason why guys like Gary Vitti, Jerry West, when he was still alive, said certain things about how this franchise is ran. And I don't have a problem with, the basketball decisions, but when you treat your legends the way you do, it bothers me. Jerry West passes, and the Clippers put out such a heartfelt press release. The Lakers press release didn't have that same type of feel. So even in death, you still couldn't take it upon yourself to be able to highlight the greatness and the impact and the importance that this man had to the franchise. Jeannie Buss takes to her Instagram. And, it was a little better, but it still wasn't enough. You got fucking Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis. They had, if it wasn't for Jerry West, they wouldn't be here. But they have more control and they have an open door to walk in and walk out whenever the fuck they want to. Sometimes, when pride gets in the way, you will let friends go. You will let family members. You won't speak to them for a while. You'll let all of this animosity build. And then when they pass, there's regret. I'm sure when Jeannie looks back at this, there's going to be a ton of regret in regards to how they've handled this over the years. Jerry West wanted to come back. He reached out to the organization before he joined the Clippers to come back. He wanted to finish up with the Lakers. You told him no. So you can be able to have a relationship with Magic Johnson, but you shun Jerry? You think if Jerry Buss was alive, you can be able to do that to Jerry West? So as much as I respect Jeannie Buss, there's a lot of things that I would like her to really start thinking about, because the way you're running this franchise, if you continue to have certain idiots have your ear and run your franchise into the fucking ground, there won't be a Lakers brand to save. And somebody else will be buying this team off of you and pushing you out the door. And you might deserve it at that point. You don't treat your legends like that, especially when there's no real reason to not mend the fences. You need to be better. So there's no jokes for me in regards to this dummy of the week. This is more of a message. Is that us Laker fans are watching. We watch how you treat the legends when they're alive, and we also watch how you treat them in death. That's it for this show. Rest in peace, Jerry West again. A lot of things won't be the same in regards to just talking about Lakers basketball without Jerry West around. It's kind of like, Kobe Bryant gone, Jerry West gone, Jerry Buss gone, Chick Hearn gone. Like, there's so much history that is gone that it makes you look at your own life. Obviously, we're fans, but in real life, your family, your friends, you see your parents get older. You see your animals that you raise, they get old, and just appreciate the people that are in your life, and whatever problems you do have with these people, try to make do. Try to make that right, because you don't know how much time people have, and to keep animosity to the very end, it doesn't look good on you. You know what I mean? And the Lakers right now, as much as I love them, they're like that brother-in-law is a fuck up. You know that they fuck up, but you're always gonna support them. So that's all. That's all for the show. Good live stream. Silent Assassin will be back next week, I believe, if she doesn't do some snap and cause chaos again. Claw should be back, or he might not be. He might take some PTO. I have no idea. Jimmy the Super Intern, I'm sure he'll be back. And there'll probably be more people down here, but who gives a shit? As long as Barry Grant Jr. is here, I will make sure that I bring the heat. I'm going to bring the honesty. I don't care. This is the thing. Like, this is the reason why life is so carefree for me, is because I don't give a fuck. I don't care about how people feel. I don't care about this sensitive shit that we're into. If you have something to say, say it. You can say it respectfully. You don't have to disrespect anybody. You can have an opinion, but don't be afraid to voice it. I'm never going to be afraid to voice my opinion. That's why people love me. That's why a lot of people hate me, and it's okay. So shouts to the comment section. You guys did a great job tonight. Can Fan, thank you for the support. Of course, I always have to be. I am naturally a heel. It's just what it is, right? It's like Triple H. When he was good, nobody cared. But when he was a bad guy, people loved him. That's just the way it is. I am who I am. And I don't care. Whoever don't like it, they can go kick rocks or eat some glizzies like Joey Chestnut. They can be choose what you want to do. Shouts to everybody that was in here. Like I said, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.